Welcome to the course tour webinar, What Does an OE Course Look Like in Blackboard Learn? My name is Alice Swift. I'm an instructional designer here in the Office of Online Education, and I will be your moderator for today. Our presenter today is going to be Kody Stimpson, who is also an instructional designer here for online education. And so we will get started with the agenda. Kody?
Thank you, Alice. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I'm really excited to go over a little course tour of Blackboard Learn. As you're hopefully aware, Webcampus Vista will be moving to Webcampus Blackboard Learn come fall 2013. And if you didn't already know this, a couple colleges were pilots in moving to Learn, and that is the School of Nursing and Hotel College. So both of them have already migrated to Blackboard Learn. And we've gathered a lot of great tidbits of information and tips from them to be able to apply that as we proceed as a university to move over to Learn. So throughout this webinar, we're going to just go through kind of very basic overview of what Blackboard Learn will look like in your new course. We're going to talk about the course navigation, using the content collection, and then we'll go through each of the different course navigation links. When we go inside the course, you'll see on the left there are a variety of different links that students will be able to click on, and we'll go through each of those, including the Let's Get Started, the announcements. We'll go over learning modules, discussions, assignments, assessments, communication, and my grades, additional resources, and finally student support. And as you can imagine, we have 1 hour to do this, so this will be a brief overview. We'll also view the Grade Center briefly, and then we'll talk about additional assistance that you have available as UNLV faculty. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to use the app share feature, so if you'll bear with me for one moment. Okay, so here we have this demonstration course that I have up here. You'll notice at the top there's a little banner that I created. When students first log into the course, they will see this banner. You'll also notice up here, I'm going to make my window just a little bit bigger, you'll see it says Edit Mode On. And in Vista, we're all used to Student View, Instructor View, and Course Builder View. That's usually over to the left. But now in Learn, you just have Edit Mode On, which is Instructor View and Course Builder View, or Edit Mode Off, and I just turned it off, and that is like the Student View. So it makes it a little bit simpler to use. Just remember, Edit Mode On is Instructor View and Builder View. Over here to the left, you'll notice this little option, Go to Student View. If you want to actually submit assignments or post in the discussion board as a student would post, then you'll have to click Go to Student View. It's a little bit confusing because, like I say, Edit Mode Off it's kind of a student view. It'll give you an idea of which items are available, but this view, just being Edit Mode Off, isn't going to allow you to post to the discussion board or post an assignment like a real student would be able to do. For that, you'll have to use the actual student view. So let's go ahead and check out the navigation over to the left. I'm going to turn Edit Mode back on, so I'm in Instructor or Course Builder view. And over here to the left, you can see there are several different links. There's Let's Get Started, the announcements, learning modules, discussions, communication, my grades, additional resources, and finally student support. And I'm going to go over those further in a moment, but I also want to show you under course management the options we have here. So here's the control panel. Beneath that, you'll see there's the content collection, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you can do with the content collection in a moment, but this used to be My Files in Vista. Next, there's a variety of different course tools that you can click on to make them available or unavailable, or if you need to change one of the settings in them. We have Evaluation, which is where you can run your course reports, as well as there's a performance dashboard. That's like where you get your statistics information and all of that. Of course, there's a Grade Center. The Grade Center in Learn allows you to have a couple different views. One of them shows you just the items that need graded, while the other will show you the full Grade Center. And again, I'll go into that in more detail in a few minutes. Users and groups. Customization, and there's a few different options to cater to your particular design style. You can click through those on your own and learn some of those details. We're really not going to get into much of that. And then if you needed to import a course cartridge from a publisher textbook or make a course copy or any of those things, those are available under Packages and Utilities. And finally, a help, which you'll definitely want to check out. So you see there's a lot here. The majority of this webinar is just going to be going over this main navigation page to give you an idea of what your students are going to see in your course. The Office of Online Ed has come together and developed a master template with all of these items. So all of the courses that we're migrating over for faculty, besides the School of Nursing, they kind of have their own template, but everybody else is adapting to this template. So first, I want to go over the content collection. I mentioned that the content collection is located under Course Management. This course is actually called Kody Test Course. So you'd click on the link of the course, and then here you can see the folders and the files that are inside the content collection, or My Files in Vista. You may want to consider creating folders to house your documents and items in there. It's very easy to do. You just click create a folder and then name it, and it would appear here. Once you're inside, you can see I'm going to go ahead and go inside Module 1. I've thrown in a few documents over here. And if you wanted to upload any documents, under the upload, you just upload files, and you can upload them into the system. So if there's one thing you'll remember about this, it's to keep in mind that folders can help you as you organize your content. In the past, some instructors have uploaded tons of PowerPoint files and videos and documents, and everything's kind of gotten lost in the course. So as you build your course or as you're working on your courses, you may consider creating a module folder and organize the content in there. It will make it much easier for you later on as you update it. So that is the content collection. Next, we'll begin with the links over here. The first one is Let's Get Started. And I'm going to be going kind of quickly through this. So again, I'll be checking the participants' room area. So if you feel like I'm going a little fast, please just show me the little signal to slow down, and that will be a good reminder for me. All right, so here we are at the Let's Get Started page. You'll notice there's an item that's created here, and this is where students start the course. You can see that there is a link here to the syllabus. In this particular demo course, we didn't have a faculty introduction or a tutorial on how this particular course works, or a course schedule for that matter. So that's why there's no links here. But in your course, you'll have the same view like this, as well as a few additional course setup links. If you need to edit this item or any item in Blackboard, you select the drop-down menu next to it, and you can click Edit. This will bring you to the content editor in Blackboard. Now, the content editor is a little bit like Word, but it's unfortunately it's kind of clunky. So there's some good things about it, and then other things that you'll find out as you use it that may be a little bit challenging. But you can click in here and add additional items. For example, you probably wouldn't add a link to CNN, but for this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to do it. If you wanted to add a link, then you just select the text here and see the little world. That is a hyperlink. It'll open up a little window. I'm not sure why it's so small. I'm going to make it a little bigger. There you go. And then you can just put in whatever website you want the students to go to. And see now how it's highlighted and it's blue. Now you can see that there's a link there. Now this, I have a link to a course syllabus. Now generally faculty create their syllabi using Word or some tool, and then they link to it. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. If you just select the text, I already have a link here because it's blue, but let's pretend I didn't. Or better yet, let's link to the course schedule. You select the text. Up here to the left, you'll see a little paper with a paper clip on it. You click Attach File, and you can either browse your computer and find the syllabus, or you can browse the content collection. I recommend putting your syllabus inside the content collection in a particular folder so that you can update it easily. Here I've got a syllabus sample here. I don't have a course outline, so for the sake of the demonstration, I'm just going to select that. And then you can name it whatever you want. Click Submit, and now you can see it here. So there's the item that I just created. You can, of course, delete text and add it as you like. So that is a little bit about the content editor. I'll show you later a couple different resources you have available so that you can learn more about the content editor. But for this webinar today, that's about as far as we're going to go. So that is the Let's Get Started area. Below, you'll notice that there's a little calendar here. The calendar tool, go ahead and click on it. It will show you the day, the week, or the month, as well as any items that you put in here. Unfortunately, when you use assignments and you put in like the due dates and things, they don't automatically appear in the calendar. You actually have to come here and create a course event for it to appear on the calendar. But that's where the calendar is. So again, under Let's Get Started, you have this welcome item and then a calendar. Next, we have announcements. The announcements page is the entry page. When students or yourself as an instructor log into the course, that would be the first page you see. It'll have a demo banner, or sorry, it won't have a demo banner. It'll have a, your course name banner. And then you'll notice you can create announcements by simply creating announcements here. And I have one posted here. An announcement may have text, images, links to websites or videos. You can embed HTML in it. I'll go ahead and show you what this looks like, because you'll be happy to know that it actually looks like any other item in Blackboard. The nice thing to know about Blackboard Learn is that the content editor looks the same, whether you're creating an announcement, an item, or a folder, or a page, whatever it may be, you have the same options in here. So you can really make some exciting and engaging announcements using the Blackboard Learn tool. Another thing I like about the announcements is that you can actually check a box on it, and it will send an email to all of the students that are enrolled in the course. So in addition to being posted here, they'll all get an email with your content in there that way as well. So let's go ahead and proceed to the learning modules. Now in the past, in Vista, some faculty used a tool called learning modules, and others used a tool that was called a folder. So depending on how your course is set up, it may vary from one course to another. But for this demonstration, we have these learning modules here. And in Blackboard Learn, the difference between a folder and a learning module really starts to get vague, so we recommend using these learning modules. Here I have a sample learning module. A learning module will contain all of the content for that particular unit or module. So if I click on this, we're going to see some items in here. Now, something to keep in mind for the learning modules is that your view is different whether I'm an instructor or whether I'm a student. So right now, again, you notice edit mode is on. This is what it looks like from the teacher view. You'll notice I have some options under build content to create an item or link to a file. Under assessments, you'll see that I can create a test, a survey, or an assignment, and then there's other options such as self and peer assessments or a Turnitin assignment. Under Tools, we have discussion boards, blogs, journals, and other options. And then you may have publisher content for your particular text. So there's lots of different options. Let's go ahead and turn off edit mode so you can see what this page would look like from a student view. Okay, and again, since this is a demo, I imported content that didn't bring all of the images and everything over with it, but you can see that the page just appears automatically for students to read it. If there were images and things in your particular course, those will all be there, and this will look similar to how it did in Vista as far as the HTML of the page. Over here inside a learning module, one nice thing is it comes up with this table of contents. So you can click on these different items and go directly to any item inside the module. With that, I'm going to turn back on edit mode so I can talk to you a little bit more about these items in here. Inside this sample, you can see I have a sample assignment, a sample test. This is actually an introduction discussion board, a blog, a journal, and a wiki. So inside your learning module, you'll likely have a learning module guide that's acting as a checklist to guide students from one learning activity to another and throughout the course, or throughout the course of that module. You may have assignments and discussions or whatever you choose to put inside your learning module. All of those items can be placed here inside the learning module. You'll notice up here while we're on this topic, I'm not sure if you can see my little hand, but I wanted to share with you the breadcrumbs. Up here you can see there's learning modules, and if I click on this, it will bring us back to the learning module. However, the breadcrumbs are a little tricky sometimes, because if I click on a discussion board, you see my breadcrumbs up here, learning module, sample learning module. If I go inside a discussion board, it actually takes me over to the discussion board area. So sometimes you have to click on this to be able to see all of your different breadcrumbs. If I want to go back, sometimes it's easier to hit the back arrow on your browser so that you can get back to this view. But students will be able to click on these items all from within the particular learning module. I'm going to click learning modules again and get back to this view. So in your course, you'll likely have 15, or maybe you'll have fewer, but you'll have several different learning modules for the different topics. Okay, so that is the learning modules. Just checking to make sure I'm covering everything I wanted to share with you. If you want to create a learning module, under Build Content, you'll notice down at the bottom, Learning Module. That's where you'd create one. And you give it a name. And again, we have the same wonderful content editor view. And then I'm just going to name this one Test so that you can see what it looks like. And now, lo and behold, we have another learning module. If I click on that, now here you can come to Build Content. You can come to Build Content and create an item, or if you're going to do your tests or assignments or tools, any of those things can be done inside the learning module. There are more tutorials and more information on the learning modules, but hopefully that will give you an idea of what your course may look like. Next, let's talk about the discussions. As following quality matters and best practices for online course development, the Office of Online Ed has decided to create 3 discussions that are in all online ed courses. They are introductions that allow students to introduce themselves to the instructor, a help forum so that they can ask each other questions, and then a student cafe that allows them to talk about course-related topics. Now, in a lot of the courses out there, they may already have these, and in that case, we just delete the ones that we have and you get to keep yours. But if you didn't have them in your course to begin with, then we simply just add them here. They're not graded unless, of course, you've created ones that are graded. In that case, we just let it go. But this is part of the template that these 3 discussions are in there. So that is the discussions. If you wanted to create a new discussion board, well, in Vista, it was called something else. But in Blackboard Learn, it's called Create a Forum. And it tells you up here, forums are made up of individual discussion threads that can be organized around a particular subject. So you name your discussion thread. I'm just going to name this one Test Discussion. And then you can put your prompt here, discuss blah, blah, blah. If you scroll down, there are dates to make it available or unavailable, and several other different options. You can choose to grade your discussion forum, which will make it much easier to do it this way than not having it attached to the Grade Center. Put, however many points you want it to be worth. You could also attach a rubric. When you're done, you can click Submit. And now you'll notice I've created this discussion board here. So that is the discussion board and the different discussions. In addition to the discussions, your course may have a link called Assignments and Assessments, similar to what we had in Vista. If your Vista course has a page called Assignments or called Assessments, then you'll see them here as well. If your course didn't have it, then you're not going to see it. An interesting thing, when we convert the course from Vista to Blackboard Learn, it converts all of the assignments page, or all the assignments page in Vista, it converts it into just a regular page in Learn. And the same thing with assessments, which means that in the past, where you had to have a link called Assignments to access those assignments, and you had to have an assessments page, now those assignments and assessments can actually be housed inside the actual learning module, which can make it a little bit less confusing for students if all of their content for a particular module is in there. All right, I'm just checking the chat board to make sure nothing's coming up that I need to address. With that, let's go ahead and proceed to communication. Now, communication includes all of the different communication tools that are available in Blackboard Learn. You'll see there's another link to announcements, blog, calendar, collaboration, the migrades, email and messages, and a variety of other different options. Something to keep in mind is if you hide it here, that actually hides it for the entire course. So if I come up here and I click Hide Link under Announcements, well, that will hide announcements from my students. So you'll want to keep that in mind before you hide anything. Another thing I wanted to go over was the difference between messages and send email. In Vista, if you've used Vista before and you used email in there, what they called email, it was an internal email system inside the particular course. Well, in Learn, that is actually called messages. So the internal email that you're familiar with in Vista is actually now called messages. And it says create and send private and secure messages that are internal to course members. But Blackboard Learn also has another option that's called send email. Now, send email is actually using external email addresses that are attached to your profile. You as an instructor or the students each have an email address. It's probably their Rebel Mail, and yours may be Lotus Notes, that is attached to you. If you choose to use the send email link, it's going to email outside, which means none of the messages are housed inside Blackboard Learn. So as an instructor, you'll want to choose which of these two tools do you want to use. Do you want an internal message system? Then use messages. Or do you want to use external email and the student's external email? In that case, use send email. I would recommend that you choose just one and not both, because otherwise it can confuse students. If some of them are sending external email and others are sending internal messages, it can be confusing. If you do choose to use the external email, then you'll want to come up here to the top. You can see this little profile next to my name, Kody Stimpson, and there's a little person. This will bring up this screen, and you can edit your personal information here, which will ask for your email address. You can personalize all of this, but it's going to ask for what email address you want to use. See here where it says this is the email I have attached? If you wanted to use a different email, or if your students need to use a different email, this is where they would go to edit that information. That's a good question. Star asks, is the external email defaulted to Rebel Mail? It could be defaulted the first time the students use Blackboard. However, the students could immediately change it. So they may be, your course may be like the second Blackboard course that they've taken, and so they may have already changed it to something. But I wouldn't say that for sure it will be attached to Rebel Mail. It will vary. So I'm going to hit back a few times so I can get back to my course. Okay, so here we are again in communication. So you can see all these different options. Another item I want to point out on here is the groups tool. Some faculty like to group students, and so this is where you would go if you want students to do groups. If I click group, you can see I already have a group created here. Creating groups is not too challenging. You click up here to where it says create single group and select self-enroll or manual enroll. And then you just give your group a name. And you have that same content editor window. You can choose if you want students to use a sign-up sheet or make it available. And then if you have any particular items that you want attached to the group, blogs, collaboration, discussion, email, file exchange, all of those. Many different options. And due to time, that's as far as I'm going to go with regarding groups. But know that we're going to direct you to some a course that you can go to and find out more information about groups. So that is communication, all the different communications that students may want to have. Next, we have My Grades. Similar to Vista, they can click My Grades and see what their grades are. Then you'll also see there's a page here called Additional Resources. Now, this is a demo course, and I have no additional resources here. But in your course, you may have something that was called web links. And in the past, this was just named web links, but this is just where you'd put links to additional resources for your course. They may be websites or videos or whatever you want to put in here, just additional resources for students. And then you'll see there's a little gray bar here that kind of separates student support with additional resources. But if I click student support, this lists all the different areas at UNLV that are available to assist students, such as academic advising, the Academic Success Center, the bookstore, the DRC, financial aid, the IT help desk, the Office of Online Ed, libraries, Webcampus support, and the online writing lab. So students can click here to be able to get all this information to help them with their online learning experience. Okay. And one of the last things I wanted to show you is the Grade Center. Again, under Course Management, I'm going to close these so that it's less daunting here. But under the Grade Center, I'm going to click Full Grade Center to show you that. Okay, here is the Grade Center. And again, this is a demo course, so there's no students enrolled, but you would see them listed below where it says last name and first name. And then you can see the different items for the different assignments. Sample assignment, sample test, journal 1, blog 1. This is where you would go to grade these items. Again, there'll be more information coming about the Grade Center or not necessarily coming, but we'll direct you to tutorials in just a minute. But the Grade Center has some nice features in it for different views of how you want to view what is due. If you want to see all of the items that need grading or set up a different grading view. So with that, let me come up here and come back to the regular webinar. Excuse me while I return to our presentation. Okay. Okay. So you may be asking, okay, going through this course tour, I've got more questions than I had when I came. Don't worry, we have lots of different resources that are available to you. If you're teaching an online course, an online or a hybrid course through OE, then you have access to instructional designers, and we're all here to assist you. So you can go to this website. I'm typing it in here, online.unlv.edu. I just put it in the chat. You can go there and you can find information about who to contact, who's your instructional designer, as well as others that can help assist with your course. There's also a Basics of Blackboard Learn course. When you have access to Blackboard Learn and you log in, on the right-hand side, you'll see a link that says Basics of Blackboard Learn -instructors. That is a course that we created that lists tutorials that are specifically made to help faculty. It consists of the main tasks that faculty are doing at UNLV to help you get jump-started and to be able to do what you particularly want to learn. So that is a great resource for you. We also offer a workshop that's called the Art and Science of Teaching Online. And this is an online course that any UNLV faculty or staff member can take. Again, if you go to the online.unlv.edu link and then go to workshops, then you will see, or professional development, I should say, you will see the different professional development opportunities that we have for you. Thank you, Alice, for posting those. In addition to that, we have lynda.com, which is a great resource that will give specific tutorials on how to use Blackboard Learn. It has video demonstrations that will walk through everything you ever wanted to know and more about Blackboard Learn. And you have access to it thanks to UNLV for paying for it for everybody. So you can check that out. We have webinars such as the one you're attending now. There are more webinars like this, and we are archiving these and putting these on our website. If you go to our website and then go to the main resources page, you'll see there's a calendar that appears. And that calendar has all these different Blackboard Learn webinars that you can register for. I'd encourage you to register for them, even if you can't attend, because then after the workshop, you'll get an email with a link to the archive. And we're also putting these, on our website. And then, last but not least, you can contact OIT or the Webcampus Help Desk. Their number is 895-0777. So there's a variety of different options for you. So you may ask, where do I find out even more about online ed? You simply go to our website and you can find out a wealth of different information. You'll notice up there at the top right where it says programs, courses, students, faculty, up here. This is where you'd come. So if you're faculty, you'll want to click faculty. You can learn more. If you're interested in developing a new online course, then once you go to faculty, first you go to faculty and then click course development, and you'll be able to see the process for creating a new or revising an existing online course. So with that, hopefully this information has been helpful for you. I just wanted to open it up and see if anybody had any questions for us. And that's no problem, Star. You're welcome to register for as many as you like. We're happy to create them because we realize faculty are teaching and you may not be able to attend, so that's no problem. Does anybody have any other questions about anything? Good question, Star. The feedback that I have received has been minimal from the student perspective. Most of the feedback I've had is dealing with the instructors from the instructor viewpoint. I think the students, if they're new students and they don't know any different, they're learning something new. Some of the older students, as you can imagine, moving from one learning management system to another could be a little bit frustrating just because it's something different and it's one more thing that they have to learn. However, the fact that we're using this new template that we showed today, our hope is that that's making a difference to students as they take one course, whether it be an English course or a math course or science. The navigation and the look and feel will be similar across those. So in the long run, as we apply this, our hope is that students will become familiar with the the navigation and the look of the courses, and it will make it a much more positive experience. Good question. Is there any other questions? All right. Thank you so much for coming, and with that, I will pass it over to Alice.
Perfect. Thank you, Kody. I just wanted to request of you all if you could actually help us by completing a short survey regarding your webinar and how your experience was. That would be great. The URL is listed in the main page, or I've also just copied and pasted it into the chat window. So you can go ahead and go to this website, fill that out. As a additional help, we've also have it linked so that as soon as you exit the session, a browser should also still open up and take you directly to the survey link. And with that being said, I believe that is everything. Thank you very much for attending. Like I said, in order to leave the session, you can select the help option and then leave session, or you can close out your window just as you normally would. Thank you, and hope to see you again for future webinars.